The following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.
Morning, sports fans. Welcome to the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM WLCN. We are at Joe Ryan Country Financial, and it's a big Saturday morning in the town of Lincoln, as it's Championship Saturday, Joe.
It is Championship Saturday.
The Lincoln Railers will play for a championship tonight.
Yeah.
At 5:30. Yeah. What we got going on here?
Well,
oh boy.
You know, we're working on it.
You got no sound?
Yeah, there's something not plugged in.
Oh, it wouldn't be a show without some technical
difficulties.
You got your hearing aids turned up?
Oh, my aids are up. I can hear.
No. Well, anyway, we can hear you.
Unfortunately. Can you?
Yeah.
Well, then we'll just talk.
No, we'll just go. You can't hear us at all, huh?
No. It's good.
Well.
Whoop. Oh, there you go.
Is that it?
I don't know. I think I heard a little click, so I think if you turn me up, I will be.
No, don't turn him up. That's fine.
You're up.
It's not coming through, but it's all right.
Well, anyway,
We'll just talk.
welcome to the Cheap Seats, where
Welcome to the Cheap
we
Seats.
have technical difficulties every week. We've been doing it.
Hey, I'm on now. There you
we
go. I don't know what
and
happened.
it's just you see our chords. Yeah. We probably should do some.
It's my
sound
first
checks.
time here.
Yeah.
We are having a meeting.
All right, well, we're
Another
back.
one.
Yeah, we're back, and it is a big Saturday as the Lincoln Lady Railers playing for a championship tonight at 5:30. And the guy that keeps these girls going and healthy and fix all their bumps and bruises is their athletic trainer, Matt Weil. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. Thanks for taking some time to come talk with us. I know it's been an exciting and busy year for you. Not only do you take care of the girls, but you also, the boys basketball. And did you do football as well? Or is it-
Football.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Just all the sports?
All sports. Yep.
Okay,
And then we
so-
have spring sports starting now. So I came over this morning to baseball, softball, track, tennis, and girls soccer. So.
Well, let's tell us a little bit about yourself. Everybody sees
He's got an interesting little
the
background.
new guy around the gym, and nobody really knows anything about.
Yeah.
They're all asking about who's that guy walking around in that tight outfit.
I got to tell you though, from a distance, because we're way up in the corner, you're the doppelganger of Steve Sloan.
Oh, could be.
Do you know
A little
Steve Sloan?
look.
Probably to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're far away, I thought, well, why is Steve Sloan down there, taking care of?
Yeah, I could see how you could see a Steve Sloan resemblance.
So, but anyway,
Yeah.
that's your Lincoln twin, and he's been a basketball fan forever. So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Leroy. Went to Eureka College where I played baseball, and ended up going to grad school at ISU and graduated in 98.
Okay.
And started working at a place called the Sports Enhancement Center in Bloomington Normal. I worked there for 25 years. Had 10 schools at one point in time that I traveled to visit the kids and see them during the day if they were injured and whatnot. Covered sports mainly at one or two of them, but I visited, up to 10 at one point in time. I was at Sports Enhancement Center for 25 years, and then I went to Rivian. I wanted to try something new. I went to Rivian and worked in the electric car business for a little bit, but I missed the kids a lot and wasn't getting the satisfaction working with robots. And I was fishing in Florida, and Mr. Strickland called me and said he needed an athletic trainer. So I said, well, I'll help you find somebody. He says, no, I mean you. And I was considering going back into it because I just you kind of lose your identity with the kids and stuff, and it was perfect timing. So I flew back the next day and come down here and met him after I took a nap and from driving and signed the papers, and here we are.
So have you
wonderful.
had like a relationship with Mr. Strickland before where he knew to
one of my
contact
schools,
you?
Lexington High School by my house. He was the principal, and we had developed a relationship there, friendship with the kids, and I think we worked around each other a lot. His office was where I would see the kids, in the same area of the building, so we would see each other a lot and got to know him, and just a great person.
So you're on staff, you're employed by Lincoln Community High School.
I am.
Okay.
I am it's a 12-month contract, and it's a little rare, but it's pretty awesome because normally people work at a sports clinic and then go to the high school in the afternoon, and this gives me an opportunity to get to know the kids a little better, being with them in the summer.
Right.
We'd have summers off, do physical therapy and stuff like that. But now I feel like I know these kids better. Mm-hmm. This is the closest connection I feel like I've had with kids, and it's just what we're going through right now. It's just incredible. It's been a great year, regardless, from day one.
Right.
Well, I've heard a lot of good things about you. The kids,
thank you.
Kids seem to like you. The coaches seem to like you. So you're doing all right.
My first home game, I went up and introduced myself to a couple guys in the stands that have been coming for quite a few years, and they said, we know who you are. We read the program. Yeah, and I just thought that was really neat. You know, and so I try to say hi to everybody before the games and reach out. But it's been really, this basketball season has been really special, both boys and girls, just to see the tradition and the turnout here and everything. It's just awesome.
And you have another connection to Lincoln, don't you?
I do. One of my best friends is from Lincoln, so Ryan Brewster, and I just got off the phone with him before I came here. So
Brew, you out there? Are you going to give us a call? You think is Brew? He's up then.
He's up.
Yeah,
he's up. Yeah.
He usually sleeps till noon and stuff.
I think he had a light day today too. He told me no sporting events. So
yeah, he's chasing that all around, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I say a lot of bad things about Brew. Hey, jokingly, buddy. Brew, he was a heck of an athlete here. He could do it all.
Yeah.
Tough kid.
Multi-sport athlete. That's pretty awesome coming here, seeing the kids that play multiple sports too.
Yeah.
So many kids are specializing, and there's different opinions on that with injury rates and stuff. But there's a lot of multi-sport athletes, and I just, that's pretty neat. Coaches encourage the kids to play the other sports, and they can still get in the weight room and condition and stuff.
So I guess one of the hot topics is, being in sports in general are concussions.
Yep.
I'm sure you got to handle those a little different way.
Sure.
And then, people are afraid of, if I play football, my kid's going to get concussed. That can happen in any sport. And you're seeing a lot more of it in basketball these days.
Yeah, we see it in pretty much anything. Statistics are statistics, but if it's your kid, statistics don't really matter much.
Right.
Because we see generally more in soccer and football. We're seeing some more in basketball. It's really tough. Years ago, we have Google now, so we can research everything, and kids are prepared now, and parents research it, and they know the symptoms and everything. Mm-hmm. Kids come now. I have sensitivity to light. I have trouble concentrating in class. I have tinnitus. My ears are ringing. 20 years ago or 30 years ago, it was, boy, I don't feel so good, and
get back in there.
Get back in there. Yeah. So the
got your bell rung. Get back in there.
It's a pretty serious deal when you look. I worked with Dr. Ed Pegg in Bloomington quite a bit before, the neurologist. And he would talk about the statistics of second impact syndrome. If you actually have a head injury, get another head injury, and the chances for permanent disability and some other lasting effects, it's pretty scary. So I try to keep a cup half full on things, but when it comes to head injuries with kids, I'm pretty conservative.
Right.
And I'm pretty aggressive with injuries. I feel comfortable being in the field for 30 years and stuff, but head injuries, you treat everyone like it's serious, but not every kid that hits their head gets a concussion, and that's the other thing, is we have to determine that. So we have the impact test at the high school. Kids take a pre-test. It measures their cognitive, skills, their delay, reaction time, and then we compare it. Once they receive a suspected head injury or something similar, we have them take the test again, compare the results. Not every kid takes them, but the more severe ones, because the effects, they have to be honest on the test, because there's too many red flags. They can't cheat the test, and it's not a pass-fail. It's just it's a graded system, but it's not really a pass-fail. They just compare it, to their pre-test and whatnot.
So overall, what's the most common injury you think?
I would say ankle sprains.
Oh, is it really?
You get those in about every sport, and there's no rhyme or reason why. Some people are more predisposed to them than others, probably. But that's what I do. I tape their ankles, or we try to convince them to get, lace-up braces, because they can retighten them and stuff. There's some advantages to that. But yeah, probably sprained ankles. The other one would probably be, general knee pain or shoulder pain. Kids are getting so much more active, and they have a great program here at Lincoln with the kids, but they sit in class all day long. They develop some postural problems and kind of slouch, and we go home and slouch, and it's just the way it is sitting in class. Hip tightness and stuff. So we battle that quite a bit, but
So being the athletic trainer, through all the sports, and you get a kid injured, and there's a difference between injured and hurt.
Yeah.
and you get a kid that say tweaks an ankle, a knee. Obviously they want to go back and play. The coach wants them to go back and play, but ultimately you have the final say of he's ready to go back, and right now it's really under the microscope, because we got a championship game today.
Oh, yeah.
We had a young lady twist her ankle yesterday, Garrett's.
Yep.
So I'm sure you're going to go take a look at her and make sure she's
We're going to tape her up,
able to go.
She's tough, so she'll be fine. And she said she felt a little popping and crackling going on, but it seemed to me, without stopping her and pulling her out of the game, because she chose not to. And I leave it up to them because they know their body's best. I mean, if it's a head injury, I intervene and stuff. But we're going to tape her up today, and she'll be fine. Yeah, she'll be ready to rock and roll. The season's been awesome, and part of it's, regardless of how good your team is, you still have to have a little luck with staying injury-free. Yeah. And we lucked out. Becca, we didn't luck out by her breaking her wrist, but that was really the only significant thing this year. And she was practicing just as hard with her splint on as she was.
Well, she's never out of shape.
And running. No.
Yeah, so.
And I try to tell the kids, I tell them even in football season, this is a point I forgot to bring up earlier, is, if you're 80%, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. And if you play volleyball and you're coming into girls basketball or track, cross country, anything, tennis, you're probably only 80%, and that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're never 100%. So the difference between being injured and hurt, that's a lot of the job is just, it's almost psychology, trying to figure out all the other things other than actually the pain and the swelling and stuff.
Right.
And figuring out how bad it hurts. Everybody's pain scale is relative to them. So, but yeah, it's been awesome.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to ask you about turf because Lincoln High School's headed that direction, and we're going to get all of it done here eventually. And you've been around it a lot longer than we have at those other schools, and now we see some. Or you hear chatter, you see stuff that where the NFL players and some college players are talking about how they want to go back to grass.
Yeah.
Do you think it helps, hurts?
I don't know because I haven't been around turf as much. I did some stuff with Corn Belters and Heartland and stuff up there at the stadium, and it's definitely different. I like natural grass. Of course, I like the grass. But the turf has its advantages. One thing about having turf for baseball and softball this year is, we're going to any rain out, we're probably going to be hosting. And we have a lot of home games anyway. So
absolutely.
It gives the kids another opportunity, and it's awesome.
I think Augie said we had like 35 games rained out last year.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, and this weather's so unpredictable right now. But with turf, it'll really make it easier. Injury-wise, I think you see more on turf than you do on on natural grass. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it's significant. I haven't really paid much attention because the problem is you don't generally play on turf. More schools are getting it now, but you don't play on it until the postseason a lot of times, so it is a lot different.
That's what it used to be, sure.
I covered state finals soccer in Naperville years ago, and it was just so much faster on the turf. The girls had to adjust to it, and most of them played clubs, so they were used to it, but it's a big difference.
So you've been through the state championship ride a few times.
Yeah, I've covered.
Talk about that.
I've covered Lexington. I can't remember what year for football in Champaign. I've covered El Paso before it was El Paso Gridley state championship in Champaign. I've been with Ridgeview, the men's finals in Peoria for men's basketball, and then Hayworth. So I've got to see, but this one's a little special this year.
Yeah, how'd it feel yesterday when you walked down there and popped?
It was awesome.
Court? Yeah,
it was awesome.
Very cool.
I was probably more nervous than the girls, but I don't want to act nervous because I have to spin it like And I did. I told Becca. I said, "You've been here and done that. This is just a basketball game. You have the advantage because you've been in this arena doing this, not that particular arena, but at that level, and that's a big difference, and it showed."
And you talk about cyber jumping here a little bit. You went over to Rivian, and then went out and bought a Tesla.
Yeah. Well, I do a lot of traveling, and I had an electric car, and it wasn't quite doing the job, mileage-wise. So I
must pay pretty well out there at that high school, guy.
Jeez. No, I work a couple part-time jobs, so I like to keep busy. But the Rivian truck was nice. I just, sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side, and I was a little, after 30 years.
Makes you appreciate this more now.
Oh, totally. And my outlook has changed. It was just a blessing that Mr. Strickland called me when I was fishing down there, and it worked out good. And and I'm not saying it to people, I mean it. It's just a great situation.
Did you have Brew on as a reference?
What's that?
Was Brew on your thing as a references?
I used him, but I wasn't sure how that would go, so.
Can't believe he won't call in.
Yeah, he's coming back
shy.
next weekend and the weekend after.
What's he doing back here? Chasing
Kids
sports?
have tournaments in St. Louis.
So he's going to roll through. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe we should have him on the radio.
I think so.
Yeah, we'll just have him come on and babble about what he's been doing.
That's right.
Because he's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't there somebody else from Lincoln up there then?
There were some Reddings.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was the Redding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tommy and John.
That's right.
Yeah. I just talked to those guys earlier this week.
Yep.
That's funny. I haven't seen them in a long time.
It was a good crew. Met a lot of good people back in the day, and I still see some of them now, which is really neat. I'm to the age now where I see a lot of the people that used to run around with, or the athletes, and their kids are going through. You see them in the stands, so it kind of dates me, ages me a little bit.
Yeah,
but
we're all getting a little older.
Yeah,
we're all getting a little older. So, did you sit around watching any games? We wanted your analysis on this Nazareth team we got to play today. Paid attention?
I watched them. I was there early yesterday. I don't know a whole lot about it, to be honest with you. I'm not going to try, but they're healthy girls.
Yeah.
They're strong, but I think we can give them fits. So
we're going to give them fits.
I think our speed could really.
Our speed could. I think is going to really be. I don't worry about size with these girls. Not that I know a lot about it, but they seem to handle their own and take care of business.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends back in Bloomington Normal watching. That just started watching them in the postseason and just love watching them. Yeah. They're just exciting.
They're fun.
And I thought yesterday that was. We beat them by 20, but I thought that may have been the best team we had played there for a long time.
That and Peoria High, I thought,
Peoria High, sure.
Maybe where it seemed close and it wasn't really. But yesterday I felt like it was a really close game, and I kept looking at the scoreboard to reassure myself that we were probably okay there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, it was to a point I was rooting for the 30-point running clock.
Oh, we couldn't get that last basket.
we just couldn't get it over.
I know we're going to win the game. Now I just want the 30-point,
Yeah.
But, we'll talk more about this with Coach Rohr here in a little bit. But, coming in this game, Deerfield, they've got 3 Division I guards. They're really good. They can move. And
those girls were good.
They were good, but we made them look silly.
Yeah.
And, going to that game, the first quarter, it's close, and then Lincoln goes on a little bit of run and go up by, 10 or 11 or 12 at halftime. And then just our, how we moved the ball and just were relentless.
Yeah.
And it just wore
awesome.
down on them. And I didn't see 3 Division I girl guards on that other team just because our girls just were that much better.
Yeah. Yeah, and after watching them in warm-ups and stuff, I felt a little more comfortable because you try to pick out who you think the best players are and stuff like that.
It's hard to do in warm-ups. I've watched many teams. I'm like, well, these guys don't look very good. And then the game starts. I'm like, oh crap, these guys are good.
Yeah,
I'll
put our girls against anybody. They're just fun. And they work hard. So
winning cures all. Makes your job easier.
It does. I'm not going to lie. When teams are winning, there's less injuries.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. And things
Absolutely.
are golden. And that's part of the job is figuring out when that's going on. Like some of the.
You got a pretty good sense of.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's half of it. But the kids are great. You just have to. You
got to remember they're high school kids.
They're great.
Still growing up, and and you got to
keep you on your toes.
I pulled into practice at LCU the other day, and there's 8 cars in the parking lot. Mine, both coaches, and there's 5 other ones, and I just thought that was amazing because it just shows how young the team is. There's 5 cars and 12 girls practicing. So it was pretty cool. I took a picture.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you got a busy day today, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm going to head back to high school.
With the girls today and get them iced up and probably you stretch them out a little bit.
Nah, they do pretty good. Yeah, they take care. They have a good warm-up and stuff and before. So it's been good.
Yeah.
I think it really helps them, and it's just fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, well.
It's going to be, I don't know what I'm going to do between noon and 4, but I'll probably think about the game a lot.
Right. Get you some more pancakes to settle you down.
Yeah, more pancakes.
Grab a couple of donuts for you later.
Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take one. Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Anytime.
People want to know who the guy behind the curtain is and down there on the sidelines. And
people have been great.
They know. Yeah.
I walked into school the first day, and everybody knew my first name, so that's something I'll never forget.
Well,
if people see you somewhere and they want to get a photo op with you, that's fine, right? You'll get.
I'm not real photogenic. It will have to be from a distance, but yeah, we'll take one.
Well, you're gonna, the spotlight's on you at 5:30. So,
I know.
Put your best.
Let's make sure you look nice tonight. Okay,
look nice.
I will. I'll do my hair.
Just go a little extra.
Yeah. Take an extra shower.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks for coming in, and we'll see you at Redbird.
All right.
Or CEFCU Arena.
All right. Thank you.
All right, let's take a commercial break. We come back. Coach Rohrer
is going to be here.
She's going to come in?
Eventually, yeah. She's supposed to be here pretty soon, so we'll talk to her a little bit about the upcoming game.
All right, let's take a commercial break. We'll be back after these messages.
Your tech.
We scored?
Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Illinois. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
love having you there.
This is former WAND sports director and humongous Lincoln Raider fan Gordon Voigt, and you're listening to Cheap Seats with Joe, Jake, Jim, Lloyd, and Shabadoo on 96.3 FM WLCN.
Had the Lincoln athletic trainer Matt Weil on. It was good to meet him. A lot of things behind the scenes, but now we got Coach Rohr. Coach, did you wake up this morning and roll out of bed with a smile and say, I'm playing for a state championship today?
Yeah, I mean, sort of.
Did you sleep?
I slept a little bit. I just I watched a lot of film, so and then I woke up this morning and watched a little bit more film. So yeah, I just trying to prepare. I'll sleep tomorrow.
Well, let's talk about yesterday's game.
Yes. Well, actually, we can back up. We haven't been able to talk since the Super, right?
Super.
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's old news.
It's old news, but boy, did the girls dominate there.
Yeah. Okay. We can back it up a little bit. Last Monday, taking on Highland over in Taylorville. A Highland team that you've seen play during the season, and so you knew a little bit about them. They had the big girl down low, and you knew she was going to be a problem. But you guys went to Taylorville, and boy, just took care of business. And I know.
Can you remember that game?
You probably. I mean, that was last Monday.
I do remember that game. The kids did a really good job, and we spent a lot of time preparing for Highland, especially their big. We knew they had that really good big inside, and they have a really good shooter. And for the most part, we shut her down, and they just came out. These kids are just winners. They just come out and they're ready to play, and they focus in practice and they absorb everything that we're telling them, and it was a great game. And yeah,
the press. The press just seemed to rattle them. I think at that.
And that's just something that I think that my team thrives on is our press. And going into yesterday, like moving it back, that I think Chloe kind of touched on that during the press conference. Like, was just kind of being concerned because that's something that we do thrive on. You put that press on a big floor, and there's a lot of gaps. And so we moved it back yesterday. One, to save our legs a little bit, but also because you have to adjust to a floor size that you're not used to. And but again, at Taylorville, we're used to running it there, right. So it worked well.
Enough of the Taylorville game or the Highland. That's old news. But yesterday, Coach, going into that game, all we heard was, Deerfield. They have 3 good guards, Division I players, and it's going to be a tough game. And everybody had me thinking this is going to be a tough game. This could be, a close one, and
it was tough.
First quarter was tough. I mean, for you guys, it was tough. But you go into halftime up by what, 12, 11?
I think 11.
11. And you had to feel pretty good about that because it was a rough first quarter. You go out on an 8-0 run, and I'm thinking, man, this is gonna be bad. Well, give credit to Deerfield. They worked their way back and got it close. I think they took the lead there at one point. Didn't last very long, but you go into halftime up by 11, feeling pretty good. And tell us a little bit about the first half where it was a close and a good game.
Right. I mean, they have good players, and we prepared for their guards, and told our kids what to be ready for. That first day of practice, I think we probably scared them a little bit, talking about what each of their guards were capable of doing, and the kids are like, we can still win though, right? I'm like, absolutely we can win, but you have to understand, because sometimes we hype up teams and the kids are like, really, like, why did you hype
Really,
up this
coach?
team?
Yeah.
Well, because you need to be ready to play. But but we were like, okay, you have to take us real seriously this time. This is what you're going to be up against. So start mentally preparing for that, because it's just as much of a mental game as it is a physical game. And we knew going into it, it was going to be a dogfight. I expected it to be a 3, 5, 7-point game at the end, and to be ready for that. And our girls just prevailed. They do what they do, and we chipped away a little bit at a time. And we made great plays. Chloe had a phenomenal game, but everybody else had a phenomenal game too, and they might not have put up maybe the numbers that they usually do. They might not have hit their normal averages, but their defense, oh gosh, they played such great defense on those kids, and all the preparation that we did to be ready for their shooters and for their quick guards, it paid off yesterday. And we worked really hard for 3 days and to get ready for that kind of quickness, something we haven't seen before. And and I went to a high school with a lot of Division I boys players, where there was one year, I think I was a sophomore, and we had like 5 Division I players on our team. We got beat by a couple of kids from a school. They were brothers, they were good players, but they beat us, and like I think the qualifying game to get to state, and my brother-in-law kind of said the same thing. Like, he's a state champion from Iowa, and he said, well, my team, we beat somebody that had a bunch of Division I players, so it doesn't always mean, and we told the kids that, yeah, they're going to be great players, but, and I, Coach and I talked about this before the game, like, yeah, you can have great players on your team, but we have something that they don't have. We have kids that have chemistry, that have played together for so long, and you got to give credit to that, because they just know each other. They know each other so well. They trust each other, and you see that on the floor.
Yeah, I don't ever see them get disgusted with each other or have an argument or anything.
Oh, no.
It's always just, hey,
Absolutely.
we're good. And the other impressive thing I thought was when you just talk about the team, and how we talked a lot about how you never had really close games. But, you jumped out, 10-0, and then all of a sudden they were right back in it.
Right.
That's a time where your team could start talking to itself, but they don't. They just rock it right on through it. And,
you got to stay composed, and you just got to play your game. And as long as you've got the focus and the composure, it'll probably work out okay.
It'll probably work out okay. It has worked out okay.
36 times, or is it 36 now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
30. It's hard to keep track of. Coach.
In my defense, I never know what my record is. I mean, Amanda Bowman, she keeps our book, and she's been writing it in the front because she knows I'm really bad about it, So it's not just this year; it's every year. I'm always like, "What's our record?"
But when you're in that tunnel, and then you get ready, and then you pop out on that court. I mean, who knows? As far as like the girls, the butterflies are in. You have to be nervous. There's no way you can't be.
Right.
And then you just get out there and they show up like they've been there before.
Absolutely. These most of these kids have played on a big stage before. In grade school they were, very competitive, and they won state titles. It's a little bit bigger stage in high school. But something that we told them was, it's just another game. It's another day that you get to play this game that you love. Yeah, you're on this big stage, but you made it here, and everybody's proud of you. And so there's no pressure anymore. Let the pressure go. Let's just go out and play basketball. Let's have fun, and the cards will fall where they may. You're prepared. We've done this all season. Like, your entire season leads up to this moment, and our preparation throughout the season, our preparation before the games, it's all led up to now. Just go out and play. And no matter what, everybody's proud of you, and we're proud of you, and
they're all going to be legends. You guys are all legends now.
They just had an incredible season, and I'm in awe of them. Just a great group of kids.
And as we talk about all of them, I thought, and you guys probably just saw this or something, but you started sneaking Stolzenberg down court a lot for the and
she does a great job flaring out and getting up ahead for some cherry picking. Becca does a good job too.
I was wondering how they never, for some reason it was like I was watching and going, well, they're sneaking down again, and here they go, and they were never back there. It was like,
right.
Well, genius.
I think the kids have conditioned pretty hard, and our practices are not easy. We have tough practices, and whether we're, running ladders or we're, going up and down the floor in our press or whatever, like they're going hard, and that helps, keep you conditioned. And we talked a lot about staying healthy, because when you get sick, your body resets itself and you're going to lose a lot of that conditioning, so stay healthy, take your vitamins, get rest, don't be running around town, do the right things. And they've done the right things all season.
Right. Well, let's talk about Chloe Froby for a minute. I mean, she had a heck of a game. Isn't even
incredible
the correct word for it. Put up 45 points, the leading scorer.
15 boards.
Yeah, you know. And now she's the leading scorer in all of tournament, for a game. And just to watch her interview after the game, she's so humble. She's so well spoken. It's not about her. It's about the team. But then, they ask her that question, what's that mean to you to score over 1,000 points in a season as well? And, obviously it's something that she's proud of,
right.
But at the end of the day, it's where the team's at. And she's just not only a phenomenal basketball player, but just a well-spoken young lady.
Absolutely. I mean, Chloe is a great kid. Just all around, top-notch kid. She's a phenomenal player, and she had a whale of a game yesterday. Just breaking records left and right. But, and I think that she said it perfectly at our pep assembly. They asked her, what record on the board do you not have yet that you want? Mm-hmm. And she didn't look at the individual records. She looked at the banners on the wall, and she said the state championship one. And, and I think that just tells you the kind of kid she is. It's not about her, and right. She never makes it about her. She makes it about the team, and that's why her teammates respect her so much, because they know that she believes in them, and they believe in her in turn, and that's why it works, because sometimes on teams like this, you could have jealousy or animosity, sure. and we don't have that. They want to win, and they don't care how it happens.
And when you have someone that scores 45 points in a game and 40 and all the ones she's done, you often the immediate thought is, well, probably a ball hog, shoots all the time, this and that. And she's not at all. Most every shot she takes that's a good shot.
Absolutely.
And she'll feed the ball and throw it and everything. Absolutely. She's not a ball hog.
No,
and then puts up all those points.
She's the furthest thing from a ball hog. When her teammates are open, she gets them the ball. And when she's open, they get her the ball. And, sometimes, Coach and I are like, go to the basket, because we see the lane, and she's like, well, Becca was open, or Taryn was open, or Jenna was open. Okay, you're right, and that's just why she's just such a great player, because she wants to get an assist just as much as anybody else. She wants her teammates to score, and she knows that she can't do it on her own, and that's a high basketball IQ, because a lot of teenagers could say, well, I'm the best player, I gotta do it on my own.
Yes.
And she doesn't feel that way. She knows she needs her teammates, and she knows that because, let's say Jenna's having a great 3-point game, if they're keying on Jenna, that leaves her more open, or if they're keying on Becca, that leaves her more open. If they're keying on her, then her teammates are more open, and that's the way the game works. There's 5 kids on the floor, and for us, we're 12 deep, and those next 6 don't get the recognition, but gosh, they push the first 6 in practice, every day, and it's a team game, and we would not be here if it wasn't for all 12 of them, and I'm very grateful to the 12 kids that I've got playing and practicing every day.
Right, and you talk about, obviously, if Chloe doesn't have those type of teammates where, they're good basketball players, she's not going to be where she's at,
Absolutely.
Because, they make her to what she is.
Absolutely.
So,
the last few games, teams haven't come off Jenna. They're just hugging Jenna. Well, that leaves the lane open for Chloe. Perfect. Okay. And I'm surprised they didn't make that adjustment. And Coach is like, would you come off Jenna? Right. Would you come off Jenna? I don't know. And you're like, well, I don't know. Chloe's got 30 points in the third quarter. yeah, I think maybe you key on her, but then Jenna's going to knock down 5 threes,
right.
So.
Now, she broke a record yesterday, too, correct? I mean, yes. I know you're not a stats person, but she broke.
That's what we do.
Come on.
I mean, we ask the questions that we don't know the answers to.
She did. She did. She broke Angie Bossingham's 3-point record. It was 72. It's 73 now. So.
With a year to go. Or that's a season. Okay.
Season record. Okay. I don't know what the overall is. Yeah, and I don't think she's overly concerned about it. She knew that she was close. She knew she was there. But again, that's another kid that just wants to win a game, and she's like, if I break it, great. If I don't, oh well. As long as we win a state championship or make it to state or, win a sectional, like that's the type of kids I'm coaching, and oh, it's a fun thing. And it almost makes me sad that today's the last day. Like, you're sad. Like, you're like, no matter what, win or lose, that's it today. And
leave it all.
And I don't get to spend the days with these kids anymore. And that's going to be hard because they're a really fun group.
Well, I think you're going to have other obligations coming up. So it's going to be
a couple months from now.
It's going to be fine. But you guys chose to not stay in Bloomington and kind of, I don't want to say get away from all the chaos, but the kids are sleeping in their own bed. You're going probably having some kind of walkthrough today at the high school. Same routine. That's got to benefit you guys.
Well, I think how could it not? And we gave the kids the option because we want them to have the state experience, and a lot of that has changed. I don't know if it's since COVID or what, but I know that they used to do like a banquet for the kids, and they don't do that anymore. It's really all compact, and so I offered if they wanted to stay, they could stay, and most of the kids were like, either way is fine. And my captains were like, no, we want to sleep in our own beds. And I think if your captains are saying we want to sleep in our own beds, then we sleep in our own beds, and that's fine. Whatever's going to make them happy. I just would hate for them to look back and think, we should have stayed here, or why didn't coach let us stay overnight? And so that's why I left the choice up to them, and whatever they chose, I was good with.
Well, realistically, you're going to be cooped up in a hotel all day.
I agree.
You can go home and lounge around, do I don't know what girls do during the day, play video games. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe.
But it's just routine, and great for them to choose that and have their eye on the prize, where some kids being that age, we want to stay here, we want to, and great for them.
Right.
They want that prize.
Now you'll just get on another bus, head up to Normal.
But you're riding nice buses.
We are. Yeah, we're very fortunate. Sure. We're very spoiled.
Yeah.
So we are. We're riding the charter bus. I'm going to tell, no matter what, when we come home tonight, I think there's going to be an escort, but the windows don't go down. So the girls will hear you and they'll be waving, but they can't put the windows down on a charter bus. So if they're not hanging out the windows, that's why. It's not because they don't want to. We talked about that yesterday on the ride. They were like, oh no, we're not going to be able to hang out the windows. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Well, maybe they can swap buses. Bring a school bus up.
It's a lot.
No school buses.
They'll be fine. It'll be okay. They'll hear the honking and stuff, and they were excited last night. Even as we pulled into town, there was, we just rode back to the high school yesterday,
and it was nice weather,
and it was beautiful out. And but people were still honking, and they were getting excited, and that was cool. So,
well, let's talk about today's game. Obviously, we're going to take on number 1 and number 2 in the state, the way it should be, matching up for a championship game. A Nazareth Academy out of LaGrange Park. You probably watched them a little bit yesterday before your game. I know I watched it on TV, and they're big. They're big. They're physical. They're athletic, but they're beatable. I think with your guys' speed, you get them running, and it could turn into a problem. So what's your outlook on it? Maybe your game plan? Nobody's listening from here.
I'm not giving out any game.
You'll be all right.
I don't know. They're pretty close. They're probably in Bloomington staying the night. I don't know. They might be listening.
They know nothing about the cheap seats.
And I know a question I wanted to ask earlier was that, a lot of times when I was doing football, we would scout ourselves and look at our film and see what we would do to us. And but we're not going to talk about it today, or maybe off there. Because that was a question I had was, if you were playing Lincoln, how would you beat them?
Oh, I'm not telling you that.
That's what. Off the air, you're going to
more points.
What should these teams do? Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah, tell us about this Nazareth team.
Nazareth's a great team, and they're well coached, and they've got bigs. They're physical. They run the floor well. They run a couple different defenses. I haven't seen them play man, but they do play definitely two different zones, and one of the zones they play two different ways. And so, we're going to talk about that today at our walkthrough. But they like to trap. They do come up and press here and there. I've seen them run two different presses where they bring it kind of all the way up, which I think will be hard on a big floor. But they run a 2-2-1, but sometimes they bring the 1 up and it's almost like a 2-3, but in the middle of the basketball court. So, we're just they've got great shooters. Last year when we watched them play at State, we're sitting in the stands, and they're shooting from the volleyball line at Redbird, so they're a good team, and but we're going to prepare for them today, and we had a lot of film on them, so I think we had 8 or 10 different films, but we could only find like 2 teams that ran a zone against them. So we're gonna, prepare for what we've seen them do against a zone and what we think they might do against us, based on what I'm sure they have. Our film is everywhere. So,
sorry,
but
a lot of truth in that.
So, but the teams that have challenged us, we look at that like, okay, so team with the shooter and bigs, what have they done to us? And so mentally prepare the kids for that.
I watched them all come in after the game. They all sat down that one and watched your game.
Yeah.
So they're trying to pick up a few things.
Absolutely. And that's what you do,
And were they in the state championship last year?
They were.
That's what I thought. So did they win or no?
No, they lost to Carmel.
Okay, yeah, somebody.
But they had beaten Carmel twice in the regular season. And then they lost in the state championship.
So look at Lincoln sliding up into those northern schools, aren't we? Taking away some of that state hype.
I got to tell you, that's something that I said to Coach. I said, I'm from there. Yeah. I know the mentality of being a Chicago or suburban athlete, coach, and I just think that the mentality is, well, we're better than anybody in the South, and I know we're Central, but it's
south of I-80.
You're in the suburbs, you're in the South, and and I told Corey, I said, I just think they're going to come in thinking they can beat us because of where they're from. And I grew up there. I know that mentality. And I don't feel, not necessarily Nazareth, I think that that's a team that's preparing for us. They found a gem. They're preparing for us. But Deerfield especially, I felt like that's the mentality they were going to come in with. And I do believe that was the mentality they came in with.
I agree with that.
I don't think they necessarily prepared for us. I think that they probably talked about Chloe a little bit, but I don't think that. I really believe that they thought they could walk in and beat us because of where we're from, and I say that because I am from there.
Because you thought it.
At some point in time, absolutely, I'm sure that I did, and I grew up there. I coached there. I know that's something that happens there, and it's the furthest thing from the truth. So
you transferred from a city girl to a country bumpkin.
Yes, 100%, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of it. Absolutely.
So you mentioned Corey, and we don't give him enough credit on here, but he's a farmer, man. Those guys, they eat basketballs, and that's how valuable is he to have on the staff now?
He's the most intelligent coach I've ever worked with.
The guy's good.
Oh my goodness, we would not be where we are without him. He's just incredible. He has just the best basketball mind.
It's the farmers. They're all
so good.
Basketball.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like just the wealth of knowledge he has, and we have the same philosophy. We have the same coaching techniques, and we, so we get along really well, and just he's incredible, and I'm very, very fortunate. God, he can pick apart some film like nobody else, and that's.
And you mentioned that Southern Northern thing. That. He's not being intimidated by anyone.
Oh no! No!
A farmer.
Yeah, they're not being intimidated by anyone.
No, he's what a blessing to have him on the coaching staff, and he's a big part of this, and I don't want anybody to forget that, because we wouldn't be here without him. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, that's.
So the keys to today's game, the keys for the Lincoln Railers.
We got to play Lincoln basketball.
Score more points.
Score more points.
Well, that's what, that's what Ryan Williams always said to me was, that's how you win a basketball game. You got to score more points than the other team. And, it was always kind of a joke. And I think about him a lot right now during this time, because he was somebody that, I bounced ideas off of. He was a good friend. And we talked a lot of basketball. And he'd always say to me, well, I'll tell you, just got to score more points than the other team and win the game. And so I can just hear him saying that today, like, you win the state title, you just got to score more points. And so yeah, that's the goal for today.
That was a Shaner philosophy. I did want to tell you, he called before you got here and said to wish you well, that he's going to come over the game.
Appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, we just got to play Lincoln basketball today. We got to rebound.
Well, Coach, before you go, it's a 5:30 game, and they have expanded our section from 105 to 109. Student section is 108 and 109. So we're going to have a lot of fans there. So do us a favor, when you walk out of that tunnel, just soak it all in, you and the girls, because this is,
absolutely.
I don't want to say it's a once in a lifetime.
It's a once in a lifetime.
But just take it all in. I know you have game in hand, and you're going to be focused on that. But just scan the stadium, because I tell you what, there's not going to be many people in the town of Lincoln today. They're all going to be over there at Bloomington.
That's a pretty
Bloomington
cool
Normal.
thing.
I know there was a ton of people there yesterday.
Oh gosh!
So you just take that and multiply it by 3 or 4 or 5, whatever. Just, a lot of people had to work yesterday, Joe, so couldn't go.
Oh my goodness, you wouldn't know it, because the stands were full. I mean, so Railer Nation just came out in full force.
5:30 game, and you saw how many people were there yesterday.
Yeah,
it's going to be amazing tonight.
It was amazing yesterday, so I am very appreciative of that. All the kids are, Coach and I are. We're just, it's so cool. And I was talking to my sister who lives in Washington State, and she says, so the town shut down. I said, yeah, the town shut down. We went to state, and she's like, that's incredible. She's like, who does that? I'm like, Lincoln. They support their teams, and they support their community. So it's really cool.
I noticed yesterday, Deerfield, a school of like 1,600 kids, right? Twice our size.
Right.
And they had their student body section was like 4 rows.
I know.
And then we're over there like, animals over there. So, yeah,
that's what we do here. So we come out in full force.
And the announcers noticed it as well. I mean, they were talking about it on TV.
Very cool.
About how, the whole bottom bowl was 3/4 Lincoln. And, so it was fun. Fun to watch. But
it was fun to be there.
Yeah,
it was fun to play. I mean, I didn't play, but it was fun to walk the sideline.
You're pretty close. You on the court. Take a shot tonight. You're on the court.
Yeah, just, take it, launch one. But, Coach, I know you have a full day planned, and we do appreciate it for you coming in and talking to us. I wasn't expecting it, and then they said you're coming in. I'm like, okay.
Well, we got practice here.
Yeah, so once again, thanks. And next Saturday, we're going to have you and the squad in, I'm sure, and have some hardware and talk about today's game. So
okay, that sounds great.
No pressure. Just take,
the pressure's off.
I don't feel the pressure either, and that's what I want, the girls to realize too, is there is no pressure. We're going to go out. We're going to do our very, very best tonight. There's not a doubt in my mind that these kids aren't going to show up and play, and what's going to happen is supposed to happen. And either way, we come home with a first or second place. And
right.
I mean, gosh, I hope it's that first place, but if it's not, I'm still so proud of my team.
Oh, yeah.
And what an incredible season. So I am I'm just sad it's going to be over.
Well, it's not over.
Only for about a week, and then don't you start practicing? I mean,
no, they got their spring. They got track. Becca's got to go win a state title in track.
You're going to have the same team next year.
I know,
so,
but
I mean, it's
that's a ways away.
I know, but today's today, and live in the moment, and you're going to have the support from the fans, and just go out there. You guys have already represented the town of Lincoln, as much as you can, and just keep up the good work. Yeah.
We're very fortunate to be in the position we're in, and we're fortunate to have everybody behind us. So.
All right. Well, we're excited to travel up there and watch the game, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right. That's Coach Rohr. Well, you know what? Let's end it early. We'll end it on a good note. We're going to wrap it up right here. Once again, the game time is 5:30 as Lincoln takes on Nazareth Academy from LaGrange Park. Gates probably open hour before, I would say.
I think 4:30 they're letting them in. Is that right now?
So
Neil, what I call him Neil.
Yeah, make sure you set in your section because the ushers, they'll shoo you out, right, Joe?
The ushers will push you around if you're not in the right place.
Joe was not in the right section yesterday, and they were on him.
5 times they told us all to move. I just didn't understand it. Well, I would.
Did you move?
No, I didn't move.
I'm Joe Ryan.
I am going to say this, though. The most shocking thing was I was starving, and I went to that concession stand and said, and I didn't read anything. I just went up and said, give me a Mountain Dew and a Kit Kat, and I reached for my wallet. That nice young man turned around and said, that'll be $12. I was like, $12?
I'd like to cancel my order. All right, that's going to do it for us here on the Cheap Seats. Good luck to the Lady Railers tonight, state champions.
Good day.
Sounds good.
The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.